Hi, I'm Rain, and 5 years ago, I was on track to become one of the youngest lawyers in New York. That was before Marcus Webb destroyed my life. I was mopping the courthouse floor when I heard the commotion from courtroom 6. I'd worked as a janitor here for 5 years, ever since Marcus framed me for plagiarism at Columbia Law and got me expelled. He was a senior associate at the firm where I interned, and when I discovered he was stealing client funds, he turned it around on me. Planted evidence in my locker, forged documents with my signature. The disciplinary board believed him, not the scholarship kid. Now I watched through the courtroom window as that same Marcus Webb stood before Judge Morrison. "Your Honor," Marcus announced loudly, "I can no longer in good conscience represent Ms. Sterling. I'm withdrawing from this case effective immediately." The judge's gavel cracked. "Mr. Webb, we're in the middle of trial. The defense just rested." "I understand, Your Honor, but ethical concerns prevent me from continuing." I couldn't believe it. Marcus was abandoning Victoria Sterling, the billionaire tech CEO, right before closing arguments in her fraud case. Victoria shot to her feet. "Marcus, what are you doing? We discussed this yesterday. You said we had them." "I'm sorry, Victoria. My hands are tied." He gathered his briefcase and walked out, leaving her alone at the plaintiff's table. The judge shook his head. "Ms. Sterling, I'm granting a 48-hour continuance. Find new representation immediately." Victoria stumbled out of the courtroom, her face pale. I followed her to the hallway. "Miss Sterling, are you okay?" She looked at me, tears streaming. "Who are you?" "Rain, I work here. I couldn't help but notice what happened in there." "My own lawyer just destroyed me," she said bitterly. "This case is about my nephew Derek trying to steal my company using forged contracts. Marcus was supposed to prove the forgeries. Now the judge thinks I'm guilty because my own lawyer quit." Something clicked in my mind. Derek Sterling? Tall guy, expensive suits, drives a red Ferrari? "You know him?" "I've seen him with Marcus Webb multiple times over the past month, meeting in the parking garage, exchanging envelopes." Victoria grabbed my arm. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying Marcus didn't abandon you because of ethics. He was paid to tank your case." "But why would Marcus risk his career?" "Because Derek probably paid him enough to retire," I said. "And Marcus has done worse. He ruined my legal career 5 years ago when I discovered he was embezzling." She studied my face. "You were going to be a lawyer?" "Until Marcus framed me for plagiarism and got me expelled from Columbia. I've been pushing a mop ever since." "Then help me," Victoria said urgently. "You know Marcus's playbook. You understand the law. Help me expose both of them." "I'm not a lawyer, Miss Sterling. I can't represent you in court." "But you can help me find evidence, can't you? You can help me find a real lawyer who'll actually fight?" She pulled out her phone. "I'm not letting Derek steal my life's work, and if Marcus is behind this, I want him destroyed." I thought about 5 years of cleaning floors while Marcus made partner. 5 years of watching him walk free while my dreams died. "Yes," I said. "I'll help you, and I'll make sure Marcus pays for everything he's done." "Good." Victoria's tears were gone, replaced by steel determination. "Let's destroy them both." We met at Victoria's penthouse the next morning. She'd hired a private investigator overnight. "Rain, this is Detective Sarah Chen," Victoria introduced us. "She specializes in corporate fraud." Sarah shook my hand. "Victoria told me about Marcus and your history. I pulled his financial records. 3 days ago, he received a wire transfer for $500,000 from an offshore account." "Can you trace it to Derek?" I asked. "Not directly, but look at this." Sarah spread photos across the table. "These were taken outside Marcus's office. That's Derek handing him an envelope." Victoria leaned forward. "When was this?" "The same day Marcus received the wire transfer," Sarah said. "And I found something else. Marcus has been disbarred twice before in other states under different names. He's a professional case fixer." "How is he still practicing?" I asked. He changes his name, moves states, uses fake credentials, Sarah explained. He's done this in California, Texas, and Florida before coming to New York. I felt vindicated. So he's been a fraud all along. That means my plagiarism case was completely fabricated, Sarah confirmed. I pulled the records. The documents he submitted as evidence against you? They have metadata showing he created them himself. 5 years of anger erupted. He destroyed my entire future over lies. Victoria put her hand on my shoulder. Then we make sure he never practices law again. Anywhere. I've got more, Sarah continued. Derek's been forging Victoria's signature on contracts for months, selling off company assets. Marcus knew about it. He was supposed to help Derek win the fraud case, take control of Sterling Tech, then split the profits. That's conspiracy to commit fraud, I said. And identity theft. And forgery. Exactly, Sarah smiled. And I have recordings. I put surveillance on Derek yesterday. Listen to this. She played a recording. Derek's voice came through clearly. Marcus, you better have tanked that case. I paid you $500,000 to make sure she loses everything. Marcus's reply was smooth. Relax, Derek. I withdrew right before closing arguments. No way she can recover. The judge already thinks she's guilty. Her company is yours. Perfect. Once the verdict comes down, I'll transfer the rest of your payment. $2 million for destroying my aunt's life? Worth every penny. Victoria's hands trembled with rage. That ungrateful little snake. I put him through business school. I gave him a VP position. He never earned anything, I said. Men like Derek and Marcus, they only know how to take. But we have everything we need now. Sarah nodded. I'm contacting the Bar Association about Marcus, and I have a friend at the DA's office who want to hear these recordings. What about the trial? Victoria asked. I still need a lawyer for closing arguments tomorrow. I know someone, Sarah said. Rachel Morrison, the judge's daughter. She's a corporate litigation specialist, and she hates corrupt lawyers. She'll take your case. I pulled up the forged contracts on my laptop. Look at these signatures. Derek's handwriting analysis will prove these aren't Victoria's. I've been studying forensic document analysis online for years. You studied this on your own? Victoria asked, impressed. I never stopped learning law, even after they expelled me. I just couldn't afford to go back to school. Then let's use that knowledge, Sarah said. You'll help Rachel prepare the case. We'll present the evidence tomorrow, and we'll make sure both Derek and Marcus face criminal charges. Victoria stood up. Gentlemen, detective, tomorrow we take back everything they stole. From both of us. I smiled for the first time in 5 years. Tomorrow, justice wins. The courtroom was packed when we arrived. Derek sat smugly in the gallery, expecting his aunt's humiliation. Marcus lurked in the back, confident he'd gotten away with it. Judge Morrison entered. Miss Sterling, do you have representation? Yes, Your Honor. Rachel Morrison stood. Rachel Morrison for the plaintiff. I have new evidence that changes everything. Derek shifted uncomfortably. Marcus started toward the exit. Bailiff, close those doors, Rachel commanded. She approached the bench. Your Honor, I have evidence that Ms. Sterling's previous attorney, Marcus Webb, was bribed by the defendant Derek Sterling to sabotage this case. The judge's face darkened. That's a serious accusation, Ms. Morrison. I have recordings, Your Honor. May I play them? Proceed. Derek's voice filled the courtroom. Marcus, you better have tanked that case. I paid you $500,000 to make sure she loses everything. Marcus's voice followed. Relax, Derek. I withdrew right before closing arguments. No way she can recover. The judge already thinks she's guilty. Her company is yours. The blood drained from Derek's face. Detective Chen blocked Marcus's path, her badge visible. The judge turned to Marcus. Mr. Webb, approach the bench. Marcus stumbled forward. Your Honor, I can explain. Explain how you accepted a bribe to betray your client? Rachel continued. We also have forensic analysis proving Derek forged Ms. Sterling's signatures on contracts. Rain Anderson, who works at this courthouse, discovered the conspiracy. I stood when Rachel gestured to me. Rain? Marcus whispered, his face ashen. You did this? You ruined my life over lies, I said clearly. Now everyone sees who you really are. The judge pounded his gavel. Bailiff, take Mr. Webb into custody. Detective Chen, the DA will want to speak with Mr. Derek Sterling as well. We have warrants for both fraud and conspiracy, Your Honor, Sarah confirmed. Derek shot to his feet. Aunt Victoria, please. I made a mistake. I'll give everything back. Victoria stood, her voice cold. You tried to destroy me, Derek. You betrayed family. No second chances. I'm sorry. I was desperate. The gambling debts... Save it for your lawyer, Victoria cut him off. Officers handcuffed Derek as he pleaded. Aunt Victoria, I'm family. You can't do this. You stopped being family when you forged my name and tried to steal my company, she replied. Marcus was led away in handcuffs, still sputtering. This is a misunderstanding. I have rights. You have the right to remain silent, Detective Chen said coldly. Judge Morrison addressed Victoria. Miss Sterling, in light of this evidence, I'm dismissing all charges against you and awarding you full restitution. I'm also referring both defendants for criminal prosecution. Rachel smiled. Thank you, Your Honor. As we left the courtroom, reporters swarmed us. Victoria spoke confidently. Justice was served today. No one is above the law. I watched Marcus and Derek being loaded into separate police cars, their schemes destroyed. 3 months later, I sat in the New York Bar Association hearing room with Victoria and Sarah. Marcus Webb sat across from us, his expensive suit replaced with an orange jumpsuit and handcuffs. The disciplinary panel chair, attorney Linda Hayes, reviewed the evidence. Mr. Webb, you've been found guilty of accepting bribes, fraud, conspiracy, and practicing law under false credentials across 4 states. The evidence is overwhelming. Marcus's public defender looked exhausted. My client wishes to apologize to Miss Sterling and Mr. Anderson. I don't want his apology, I said firmly. I want justice. Linda nodded. Mr. Webb, you are hereby disbarred permanently from practicing law in any jurisdiction. Additionally, you'll serve 7 years in federal prison for your crimes. Do you have anything to say? Marcus turned to me, desperation in his eyes. Rain, please. I was wrong about the plagiarism. I was wrong about everything. I'm sorry. Can't we move past this? Move past this? I stood up. You stole 5 years of my life. You destroyed my career, my reputation, my future. And for what? Money? Pride? I was scared you'd expose my embezzling. So you ruined an innocent person instead of facing consequences for your own actions? Victoria interjected. That's exactly what you did to me, too. You have no remorse, Marcus. You're only sorry you got caught. Sarah added from her seat. The DA's office has received complaints from 17 other clients you betrayed over the years. 17 people whose cases you threw for money. You're a predator in a suit. Marcus slumped. I needed the money, the lifestyle, the respect. You wanted the appearance of success without earning it, I said. Well, now everyone knows the truth. You're not a respected attorney. You're a criminal who bought fancy suits with blood money. Linda spoke again. The panel has reviewed the evidence regarding your framing of Mr. Anderson 5 years ago. We're officially vacating that plagiarism finding and restoring your academic record, Mr. Anderson. Columbia Law School has been notified. My breath caught. They're letting me back in? They're offering you a full scholarship to complete your final year, Linda confirmed, with a formal apology for the miscarriage of justice. Victoria squeezed my hand, grinning. Sarah whistled appreciatively. No, Marcus whispered. That's not fair. Fair? I laughed bitterly. You don't get to talk about fair. You're going to prison, Marcus, for 7 years. And when you get out, you'll never practice law again. Meanwhile, I'm going back to finish what you tried to destroy. The guards led Marcus away. He didn't look back. Outside, Victoria handed me an envelope. What's this? A job offer, she said. When you graduate, I want you as Sterling Tech's general counsel. Starting salary is $400,000 plus stock options. Victoria, I haven't even finished school. You helped me defeat a conspiracy when you had every reason to walk away. You're exactly the kind of lawyer I need. Someone who fights for justice, not money. Sarah joined us, grinning. Also, Derek got 15 years. The DA found evidence he'd been stealing from Victoria for 3 years, not just the few months we initially discovered. The gambling debts were over $10 million. 15 years, I repeated, amazed. He really destroyed himself. They both did, Victoria said. Derek wanted easy money instead of earning success. Marcus wanted respect without integrity. They both chose shortcuts and ended up in prison. I looked at the Columbia Law acceptance letter Linda had given me. I spent 5 years thinking my dreams were dead. I spent 5 years pushing a mop and watching Marcus walk free. But you never gave up learning, Sarah reminded me. You studied law on your own. You recognized the conspiracy. You helped gather the evidence. You earned this comeback. Victoria smiled. The janitor who saved a billionaire. That's going to be quite a story when you're running my legal department. I still can't believe this is real, I admitted. It's real because you made it real, Victoria said. You could have walked away when you saw Marcus abandon me in court. You could have let your anger make you bitter. Instead, you chose to fight back the right way, with evidence, with allies, with the law. We walked to her car, the courthouse behind us. 5 years ago, I'd left this building in shame. Today, I left it victorious. Rain, Victoria asked as we drove away, what made you decide to help me that day? You didn't know me. You risked everything. Because I knew what it felt like to be betrayed by someone you trusted, I said. And I knew Marcus needed to be stopped before he destroyed anyone else. Sometimes fighting back isn't about revenge. It's about protecting others from the people who hurt you. Sarah nodded from the back seat. That's the difference between revenge and justice. Revenge is about your pain. Justice is about preventing future pain. Exactly, I agreed. Marcus and Derek both thought they could take whatever they wanted from whoever they wanted. They thought being smart meant getting away with it. But real intelligence is building something worth having, not stealing it from others. Victoria pulled up to my apartment. I'll see you at orientation next month. Columbia's lucky to have you back. As I walked inside, I thought about everything that had changed. Marcus was disbarred and imprisoned. Derek lost his freedom and his future. Victoria had her company secured. And me? I had my dreams back. Have you ever had someone try to destroy your future out of fear or greed? What would you have done if you'd witnessed corruption happening to someone else? Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.